r/AskReddit. What sounds impressive, but really isn't. In high school, I was the captain of the track team. That's what we named the Model Railroad Club. In high school I held the record for farthest shot put in my school's history. I was the only male, and it was our school's first year. In college I was a government contractor because I flipped burgers at the McDonald's on base. Had ID and everything. Really impressed the ladies. Thank you for your mix service. Is the fucking milkshake machine working? No sir. But I filed a standard S1798 and scratched off where it says machine gun and put ice cream. I've climbed the highest mountain in Denmark. Mollahaj, 170 meters. I live in a country where I can ride a bike up the highest peak, Australia, Mount Kosciuszko, 2228 meters, but unless you choose the nastier side, which isn't that nasty, you can ride your bike up it, have a picnic at the top, then cruise back down again. If you're doing the highest peaks on each continent, this is the one to start with. Gold status with a hotel chain, I get a complimentary bottle of water. You're getting ripped off. I get 2 complimentary bottles of water at silver status. At platinum status they let you bring a sippy straw down to the pool. Getting your band's music on Spotify, iTunes etc. It's like $20 a year and takes 15 minutes. Edit, yikes, wasn't expecting this. And yes, I know the hard work of writing and recording. My band's music is on Spotify. Was not trying to diminish anything. Anyone can register and put stuff on Spotify. People think it's limited to the massive record labels, but it's really not. There's an album of female orgasm sounds on there for duck's sake. What? Ugh. That's so dumb. What's the album though? So I can see how dumb it is. I worked on Broadway with Brad Pitt when I was 20. It was a bar on a strip called Broadway. My manager's name was Brad Pitt. Man, it's gotta be super easy for that dude to get reservations though. Met a guy named Stephen King. Asked if he liked having a famous guy's name. He said it was the best. He got automatically upgraded to the nicest suites at hotels, priority for reservations at restaurants, and so on. They would always ask if he was really Stephen King when he called them in, and he would just say yes I am Stephen King. Him. Hi, yes. I'd like to make an 8:30 reservation for Brad Pitt. Table 44 please. Restaurant, nice try wise guy. Now what's your real name, we got people waiting on the line. We're very busy. Him. Huh, that's my real name sir. Please put me down for 8:30 or even 9 if you have it. Restaurant, I'll give you one last try buddy. Him. Yes it's BRADPI. Phone cuts out. I always tell people I've built my own computer when I'm supposed to tell something interesting about myself. It's easy as shut. You plug in a few things and press a power button. Unless the fans don't start whirring when that button gets pushed. Loud sweating. Military grade construction. So, it's like, made by the lowest bidder? You forgot, in a key senator's district. My mom called to let me know that her friend's son is now the VP at his company. He works as a financial advisor for a Fortune 500 company. Almost everyone is a VP or higher. We work for the same company, so of course I double checked the directory information. Yep. He's not even the only VP on his team of 8. Companies like to give anyone who deals with sales the VP title because it's more impressive sounding to the clients. My husband's company does this, and most of them know it's bullshit, but this one guy's constantly trying to pull rank within the company. He once tried to kick my husband out of the boardroom because VPs get priority. Meanwhile, husband's been working there 20 years and he outranks most of his co-workers, but his title is very non-assuming. Sometimes they try to give him a fancier title and he fights them on it, because a title that implies authority is just a pain in the ass unless you get the raise, too. Reminds me of a joke. Guy comes home from work and tells his wife, guess what? They made me a VP. She says, big deal. Our grocery store has a VP of apples. He doesn't believe her, calls the grocery store, asks the clerk to speak to the VP of apples. Clerk says, dried or fresh? There was a Seinfeld episode with a similar joke. Elaine says she got promoted to associate, and George says, hey, congrats. I'm an associate too. The waitress pouring their coffee says, yeah, I'm an associate too. Made with 100% recycled material. Doesn't mean everything in it has been recycled, just that some of the plastic pieces in it were recycled material. Damn, that one's nasty. What till you hear about 100% all natural chicken? I've read every book Socrates ever wrote. For those who don't know, Socrates never wrote any books. All works about him were written by his disciple, Plato. I don't even own a TV. Yeah, but that doesn't stop you from binging 20 hours of Netflix on your laptop in bed and spending the rest of the day starting at your smartphone screen. I don't even own a TV. It's funny how just 5 years ago that phrase used to mean a person tends to avoid consuming mass media. I was recruited into the NFL in high school. It was the National Forensics League. We were speech and debate nerds. I own my own business and work whenever I want to work. Sells body wraps out of her basement. Haha, I do own my own business and work whatever hours I want. In order to pay bills and eat, it's about 70 hours a week, and my friends and family have stopped asking if I'm working because the only answer is yes. When he worked there, used to love telling people my brother worked for NASA. He was a mechanic for the tour buses. Still could get cool perks though, somehow wrangled us a pass to the causeway to watch some shuttle launches. Well, technically he was a mechanic at NASA working on the shuttles. I am a published author. I wrote an eHow article about a certain virus and how to remote it, got a few bucks. Do you draw the pictures? Because if so, I would like a word with you. Being Times Person of the Year, 2006. For those of you that didn't know, it was me and you. Driving a BMW. You can get these things cheap if you buy used, because they're so fucking high maintenance that people get sick of the repair costs and can't wait to unload them. A wealthy man can afford a BMW. An ultra wealthy man can afford a used BMW. I originally heard this in reference to Land Rover. Do you have at least $1 in your bank account and no debt? You have a higher net worth than 16.6 million American households, combined. Doesn't sound impressive but really is. My friend's brother is a phone construction engineer for Apple. His dad apparently fluffs up proud as his other son is just a chef in the UK. It means his brother works assembling iPhones in the suicide famous Foxconn sweatshop. Sounds fancy though. A large amount of jobs with engineer in the title are not at all engineering. Examples: sanitation engineer, janitor, mass production engineer, factory worker, and maintenance engineer, mechanic. I am a sanitation engineer. Or a janitor if you want to be a duck about it. I tripled my income from last week with one easy trick. 3 times $0 equals $0. Bragging on how much you paid for something. Why don't I just take a whiz through this $5,000 suit? I have survived 100% of the world's natural disasters for 27 years. I live in a quiet suburb in northern Ohio. Humble brag on surviving Ohio for 27 years. Saying, I may not have book smarts, but I have street smarts. Normally said by people who do not have street smarts, either. A dude I knew used to always yell, I'm from New York. You can't pull one over on me. Right before he got ripped off. Getting accepted to 100 plus universities. There are tons of schools who will accept you just for your application fee. The real question is who TF has the money to apply to 100 plus colleges. Applications can be expensive. A guy bragging about lasting an hour or more in bed. Yeah, it sounds impressive, but I've known people that dated guys like that and they hated it. Having sex for that long straight can become uncomfortable, painful, and also not as satisfying since she can feel like she can't make you come. That is just horrendous. You just get bored and it feels like a chore after a while. Not arousing. Mate, I did a 2-hour session and my duck nearly fell off. Wasn't pleasurable at all, just sweaty and tiring with neither of us really enjoying it. Space Heater sounds cooler than it actually is. Chess has grandmasters. They're incredibly skilled. The card game Bridge has life masters. They may be skilled, or they may have just hired a pro to be their partner and carry them to enough tournament wins to amass the necessary points. It doesn't take long. I have 500k karma. It only cost me my social skills. When people brag about smoking weed every day out of expensive bongs. Working transactions for a multi-billion-dollar company. AKA a cashier at McDonald's. Beating up her cervix with a massive penis. This does not please most women. I stubbed my toe last night, and I only cried for 20 minutes. I once soloed a family-sized Doritos bag. The fact that you only did this once impresses me.